the first two songs on the album I've heard, and I guess the first impression I have is that they're epic. And just judging on the first two songs that I've heard, this isn't going to be so much about the songs as much as a body of work.
You know what, Lee? Thank you. That's a great way to put it. I wanted this album to be kind of a piece in itself, and all the songs kind of lend to it. And we kind of took like a lot of we took our time with this one, and we wanted to make a big production out of it. That's why you hear, lots of like string arrangements and like different instruments and different vocals. It's yeah, that's a great way to put it. Thank you.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. It's very powerful, but it has a lot of space, a lot of room. And when I say room, I'm talking about the spectrum, the stereo spectrum, the space between the instruments and the mix and everything. And I hear a room. It's like you guys are playing in a room, not so much a studio that's controlled and sterile and everything. It's almost like an instrument.
Thank you. Yeah, that we recorded it with Kevin Ratterman, who's done some fantastic work with bands like Strands of Oaks and White Reaper. And
Hmm.
he came down to Toronto and we recorded it in Union Sound, all in the same room. So those takes you hear are just us playing in a big room with some nice reflections. And he ran it through some like vintage tape equipment to master, so it gives it that like old '70s vintage
Hmm.
and stuff. And we're really proud of it.
Yeah, I totally get that. That's great. Now, are you a Toronto guy?
I am a Toronto guy. I'm from Kitchener originally, but I live in Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So where did you go to school in Kitchener? Did you go to high school in Kitchener, Toronto, or?
I went to high school in Kitchener. I went to
Yeah.
college in Kitchener as well. So I went to
Hmm.
Grand River in Kitchener, and then I went to Conestoga College.
Uh-huh.
And then I moved on out to Toronto to become a musician.
To pursue your dream.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Now, how long have you been slogging it out in the city here?
Probably 10 years.
Yeah.
I moved here when I was 22 and I'm 32
Uh-huh.
now. Yeah, so 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody prepared you for this pandemic, did they?
No, and I often joke. I was like, man, I wish I still lived in or Kitchener with these rent prices, but
Yeah, really.
yeah, because in with the pandemic, it's like I love Toronto, but it's just not. It's I moved to Toronto to for not just for my apartment, but for the people outside the community and all the places to go.
Mhm.
And I miss it, but we just all have to be good until it's over. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have a family housed in Toronto with you, or are you on your own?
I live with my girlfriend,
Yeah.
and we moved in just right before the pandemic started.
Oh,
So we
that's a
were
good test.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly it. And but we are getting along great, and we have lots of projects because we just moved into this new apartment. So we're kind of
Yeah.
just filling our winter with fixing up the place.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. When we come out on the other side, we know it's not going to be exactly like it was before. How do you envision it?
I envision it slowly. I think it's going to be a slow roll into normalcy, and I hope it is because I hope we do it, safely. I hope,
Hmm.
it doesn't seem like there's anybody steering the ship now, but hopefully, in a couple months there will be, and I just hope I think it'll be a slow roll into normalcy, but I just can't wait to be close with other people
Yeah.
in a venue again, especially.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to wait it out because it's for the better of everyone.
Yeah, apart from the obvious stuff, though, getting out and playing, which is such an important part of your interaction, what are you missing most about being hunkered down?
To be honestly, I'm doing pretty good being hunkered down.
Mhm.
I'm lucky to be working from home and everything.
Yeah.
I do miss just walking to a destination and just seeing someone on the street that I know. That hasn't happened in a while. A couple of weeks ago, I saw somebody riding their bike, and I got pretty jealous. And I just thought, "Wow, that guy has somewhere to go." So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good for you. Listen, tell me about your band. You've got a big band. Typically, it's a trio, quartet, maybe five. You have six.
that's it.
Uh, Part of the vision, I guess. And how do you pick them? How do you find six guys that work with each other and like each other and have chemistry? That's hard.
Well, when I moved over from Kitchener, I was still playing with a lineup from Kitchener, and then
Hmm.
the lineup kind of fell apart. And then it was a day after I went to our band members Joel and Dave's place. They were living together, and we were all the members in the band except for Connor, the drummer, were all in the play. We're all at his apartment at that night, and we kind of just reformed the band then and there. And it was kind of just like a drop, like it was just super organic, and it just
Yeah.
happened literally in an hour.
Is there any way that you guys are able to interact? Because, you know, the time you've lost, you're not going to be able to get back. And it's just like a hockey player who's out for 8 months getting back into shape. It takes that much more, takes that much longer, especially the older you get. Maybe, I mean, maybe it's not the best analogy, but
It is. It really is, because you know, like when we are on tour and when we play shows on tour, we're what's called tour tight. You know, oops, sorry,
yeah,
I like we're tour tight, and
yeah.
we're you know we are very like we know exactly where what we're supposed to do, the moves and everything.
Hmm.
But we're gonna probably be shaking off the rest when we get back to it. We haven't been able to interact at all because we're 6 people, so there's too much of us. But we
Hmm.
play every Wednesday. We play Dungeons and Dragons on Twitch.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, we
Okay.
just play Dungeons and Dragons to just keep communicated and keep
Yeah,
communicating, and we also are just like kind of recording and practicing at home now, because these days, you know, like everybody can record at home, so we're just kind of trying to
hmm,
stay creative and stuff at home.
yeah. It's nicer getting together on Twitch because a band that plays together hangs together. I mean,
Exactly.
ideally, right? A band is a band.
Yeah, we're best friends. So, you know,
Yeah.
when we found out that we couldn't practice, we were bummed that we couldn't practice and do our thing, but we were also bummed we couldn't hang out with each other. So
Yeah.
this was like, you know, we still can't practice and do our thing, but we still can hang out with each other. So,
Yeah.
you know, we just pretend to be elves and dwarves for a couple hours every week.
All the stuff that we took for granted, eh?
Yeah.
Tell me about your practice routine. Like I'm a drummer, okay? So I haven't played with guys since last March. And my drum kit is sitting in the living room at the house, and it's a little bit dusty because I prefer to interact with people when I play. But I've been using the time to do stick control exercises for an hour or an hour and a half a day. And I can't wait to start playing again because I want to see if I'm any better or not. So what's your practice routine like?
I practice writing. So I really practice what I try to do. I recently got on TikTok, and because a lot
Hmm.
of musicians are doing covers there, so I was
Hmm.
kind of feeling in a bit of a creative slump. So I got on TikTok and I started doing popular covers on TikTok my own way. I started doing like T-Rex glam covers of like popular
Mm.
songs, and so that's how I practice. I kind of like to record a lot, and when you record, you can lay down a drum beat with a keyboard and then just practice to that, and that's how I get how I keep my chops up. But it
Yeah.
also keeps my songwriting chops up too.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Are you into doing a tune before we depart?
Got my guitar right here and my reed right
Fantastic.
here.
That would be great.
So this song is "Back with the Gang." It's a stripped down kind of lounge version of it because you
Okay.
know, there's not 5 dudes behind me, and this is kind of a stay at home version of "Back with the Gang," her latest single.
Excellent.
Right, so
Sam Coffey, everybody.
hold up, behold up, you'll be holding on to the grave. Cold, make it colder. You've been cold a month of May. Fold, you're the folder. Watch you rip and turn in the page. Bold, you're the boulder. Watch you boldly rolling away. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your best friend too. Looks like daddy's back in town and daddy's back to school. You run me wild, daddy, back with the gang, with the gang, with the gang. You run me wild, daddy, back with the gang. Oh, holy roller, now you're paying Piper to play.
the price of playing the game? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your best friend too. Looks like daddy's back in town, daddy's back to school. You run me wild, daddy back with the gang, with the gang, with the gang. You run me wild, daddy back with the gang. You run me wild, daddy back with the gang, with the gang, with the gang. You run me wild, daddy back with the gang. Daddy get back with the, daddy get back with the, daddy get back with the gang. Daddy get back with the, daddy get back with the, daddy get back with the gang.
Just when you thought you were out, I get pulled back in. Thank you for showing the Elvis inlay as well. That's great.
Thank you so much. This is my favorite.
Before this thing runs out, I'm going to have to let you go. I hope we can have some hang time by summertime. I think things are going to start to turn around by then. So we'll see you in person soon, I hope.
Awesome. I hope so too. Thank you so much, Lee.